Hey everyone! In this episode of In Conversation, in partnership with the 2024 Dubai ITS World Congress, I'm joined by the MD of Message Maker Displays, Danny Adamson. Anyway, I'm Alistair and this is at ITS Now. I just wanted to start with if you could introduce what your company does within the ITS sector.
Yeah, certainly. Message Maker Displays produce all manner of digital signage in the transportation sector with particular focus on highways.
So we can see some of that in the background here, so it's a really good display that we've got. Now, obviously, ITS Now exists to provide educational and informative content about the ITS sector. So I thought we might start by talking about the skill shortage that's facing the whole sector, basically. As a managing director of an ITS company, you must have some issues around that. I just wondered if you have any particular blockers for the recruitment of staff, particularly younger people, trying to attract them into the industry.
Recruiting certainly has presented challenges. What we have tended to do is train people up, bring them on in-house and make the most of the government's apprenticeship schemes. But yes, it certainly has presented us with a fair few challenges.
I think it's really great if you can actually identify people who you can then bring on and provide lots of experience and training. It's a fantastic way of honing people's skills.
I think the key for us is having people who are bright, but also the ones who fit. And one thing that we've got in our business is a real obsession about customer service. So they've got to be intelligent, have a desire to learn, but we want to know that they're going to be there for providing really good service to the customers.
Yeah. Talking about customers, is the sort of skill shortage within customer organisations also an issue, so that you can do business with them? Can make it difficult if they don't really understand what it is that they want or how things work.
I think ITS can be a very complex area to work in. What we try to do is simplify it. So whether we're working with a parish council or Cubic, wherever people are on that spectrum, that they understand how to operate to the very best of the ability our equipment. So that's our aim.
Yeah, I think there's often an issue. Bits of kit can be really daunting to people who are inexperienced. So it's great that you're able to provide that support to them. Going forward, have you got any thoughts about how government policy should develop to help develop economic growth within the sector as well?
I'm sure there'll be many people who say there's more that can be done, but I think the DFT, led by Darren Capes, is doing a tremendous job driving things with forums such as the TTF and supporting LCRIG. They've supplemented what people like Max are doing at ITS UK. I think there is momentum now to improving that sector. So we are seeing a great deal of progress at the moment.
Yeah, I think the different grants that DFT have been using to modernise a lot of different types of traffic installations it's been really good. There's been a lot of underfunding over the years for all sorts of reasons, but I think that's a real positive.
There's a huge amount spoken about the really big projects, and it's perhaps at the local authority level where funding is required, because they get incredible amounts of bad press with their potholes, but just requiring that additional funding. They've just recently had those grants that I think Darren helped win. That is going to provide that boost that they do need. I think they do need that funding.
Yeah, I think it's really positive. As far with government itself, there's a lot of issues around requirements before you can supply equipment. Do you think that some of those could be simplified? Things like Home Office approval for enforcement type products, which isn't just camera systems, but also signs and things, and even things like the code of connection for national highways, so that you could provide a quicker route to market for SMEs, particularly in the UK?
I think if I go back, the reason why Mesh Maker displays really focus on traffic was because of compliance. We want to adhere to the very, very high standards, but what we're afraid of is that the government and the organisations such as National Highways hinder themselves or thwart themselves in terms of who they can work with because of the barriers to entry. And I think if they, whether it's HOTA, we still want to be making sure that we provide that stringent regulations or meet them. But I think they're missing out on innovation and potential new entrants as well.
Yeah, I think obviously you want to meet the quality requirements and the service levels that they're expecting. But I know quite a few companies where some of these requirements are quite daunting to them to be able to conduct business. So it's slightly problematic. But I think it's a good point about stifling sort of innovation. Yeah. Also, sort of with the move to become more environmentally friendly, we're all looking at ways in which we can reduce our carbon footprint, etc. Are there any particular areas that your company's focusing on to achieve improvements?
There's probably two areas where we're really helping our clients. One is ultra low power. All of our signs are very, very low power. And the second is that reliability. So they're not renewing the kit. They've got that longevity in terms of the kit. In-house, the other side of the business, stock signs, we've put a lot of new equipment in, which is very, very low power, reduced power. But we've also put solar panels in. So we're doing all manner of different things to try and bring our energy use down and our footprint on the environment down.
Yeah, I think, things like the products, actually, even just a few years ago, the electrical and electronic functions within these consumed a lot more power than they do these days. It's all going in the right direction, really. Yeah.
Remember to hit subscribe for ITS now.
I know that your company is particularly collaborative in the way that you work with your clients, and I just wondered if you thought that was an opportunity not only to provide them with the correct solution for their immediate issue, that they've come to you for, but also provides possible areas for new development as well.
Our focus is long-term projects. We want to collaborate within the supplier network, and we can't do things alone. Our focus is purely on signage, so we want to buddy up with leading players in the industry and help deliver better and better solutions. So they know they can turn to us for reliable, state-of-the-art signage, but they'll provide the other side to the development.
Yeah. So things like vehicle activated signs, one of your core products. I just wondered if you feel there are any applications for those that will grow over coming years.
I think the VAS signs, they're often providing warning signs about potential hazards, but they're more and more. It could be about air quality, it could be about noise. I think they will end up with different functionality. So we're open to the market in terms of we can help meet their needs.
I've seen that you've been promoting sort of signs for use outside of schools and things recently, which is another string to your bow, as it were. So gradually looking at these different capabilities and uses for these sorts of signs.
Yeah, and they don't have to be overcomplicated or over expensive, as long as they're well scheduled, so that they're informing the driver that the children are coming in or out of school. Then they're going to provide the necessary support for those schools and the traffic calming areas.
Brilliant. Yeah. So I'm going to be speaking at an event which you're kindly hosting on behalf of
In this room,
Intelligent Transport Systems. So you'll probably see some more of these at that point. And I'm going to be talking about ITS and smart cities at that. I just wondered if you have any thoughts on how ITS can contribute to establishing the operation of smart cities.
I think transport will play such a big part in any city. It's so visible, and ITS clearly sits at the heart of that. And I think with all the connectivity that already exists, I think more than just the green flow of traffic, I think ITS can do so much more in terms of helping make sure that people get to the right place in the most efficient means possible.
Yeah, there's an awful lot of data floating around at the moment. I think the way in which we use data have probably sort of all come together and bring in all sorts of things that we haven't thought about yet.
Well, I think it wouldn't be a ITS interview if we didn't mention data. You know, you go to the ITS forums or the TTF and people are forever talk about data. I think the key is taking the enormous amount of data and moving it forward into information and then insights so that people actually do something with it. That's the key.
Yes, absolutely.
And probably to touch on a point earlier is make sure the local authorities have got the funding to be able to work with probably those private sector companies who've got that information to then help those towns, cities to realise the benefits that they can bring.
Yeah, and I guess also deal with specific issues that they have in their localities. So maybe certain air quality issues or environmental issues, or it could be, it's not just congestion and traffic. Yeah. Now, I wanted to also touch on the fundraising that your company does. You've been doing all sorts of things over the last few years. I just wondered if you could just share with us your upcoming adventure.
Well, I don't know when we're going live, but going to press. But towards the end of June, we're climbing Mount Olympus. I think it's 9,500 feet. We'll be asking for sponsorship. I think there's 24 of us taking on that challenge. It'll be our 8th annual charity challenge, and I think for the 3rd or 4th year, the monies will be going to Children's Trust, which is a charity close to our heart and very just up the road in Surrey as well.
Right. And it's not just people from here, is it? Either you're roping in others as well.
Well, we will be roping them in because I think the final 1,000 feet you have to be roped with the helmets as well, so harnessed up. So yeah, there's some guys from Balfour BT and MSF. They'll be joining us, and a few of the lads from the construction side as well. So, well, it's good. When we say about working in partnership, we really do work in partnership.
That's brilliant. So lastly, obviously this is about the World Congress, but in 2027, the World Congress is going to be held here in England in Birmingham. So I just wondered what you felt were the biggest areas of change possibly in 3 years' time when that comes round.
I think it probably will be data. I think there's so many touch points. People are collecting so much data. It's about how we're going to actually interpret that data. And I think the continuing trend for us that we will see is it's all partnerships. There's no one company who can do things on their own. They're going to be working in collaboration, and we're always available to be working with new partners.
That collaborative piece.
Exactly.
Brilliant. Well, thank you, Danny. And look out for other episodes of In Conversation soon. Thanks.
Thank you.
I hope you found that interesting. We've got more episodes of our In Conversation series on the ITS Now channel, official media partner of the 2024 Dubai ITS World Congress. So make sure you don't miss out on any of these insightful episodes we've got lined up for you. So lastly, can I please ask you to subscribe to our channel? It's free, it doesn't cost you anything, but it really makes a huge difference to us to bring you more episodes about ITS. Thanks again for everybody who has already subscribed. Thanks for watching. See you next time.